The first job is to list the numbers in ascending order. I like to cross them out as I go. I also count up my numbers at the end to make sure that there are the same amount of numbers in my data list as that I have here. You notice I forgot 49. I had to add it after. Now let's find these things. Find the mean. The mean is sum of your x's or sum of your data values divided by n, divided by your total number. So let's add our x values and count up how many we have. When I added up all my data values, I got 542. The total number of data values is 12. I do 542 divided by 12 in my calculator and I get this. Now I want to round that. Since my data values are whole numbers, I'm going to round to one decimal place. So 45.2. I round up because 6 is higher than 5. Mode means most often. My most often data value is 46. The median is my middle number. So I just count in from either side. It looks like I have two middle numbers, 46 and 47. So when that happens, you add them and divide by 2. Mid-range. Mid-range is high plus low divided by 2. Find that on your green sheet so that you know where it is for your test. So our high was 60, our low was 11, oops, 35.5. First step is to list the scores in ascending order. I like to cross out the values as I go. I like to count up how many I have in my list and make sure that it's the same number. A computer program, Excel, could order your list for you as well as some calculators. Next, to find the mean, take the sum of all your data values, so add up all your data values, and divide by the number of data values you have, n. When you add them up, you get 2155, and there are 15 data values there. 2155 divided by 15 is 143.6 repeating, which we will round to one decimal place, 143.7. The mode is the most often used or most often found data value, which in our case is 159. Median is middle number, so I just count in until I get to the middle number, which in our case is also 159. Mid-range. High plus low divided by 2. Again, find that on your formula sheet. That's one that you don't often use, so it's not one that you might have memorized. So you need to know how to find it fast when you get to it on your test. These are all measures of central tendency because they describe what happens near the center of our data. Prices in cents for 16-ounce can of kidney beans found at a sample of regional grocery stores. So here's our price range, 30 to 50 cents. There were 12 cans in that price range, and so on. Why do we need the midpoint? Well, when we're doing our numbers, it's not good enough to say, what were your data values? Well, between 30 and 50. That doesn't help us. We need a number. So the midpoint gives us our best guess for a number for that price range. So we're going to find the midpoint. To do that, you do 30 plus 50 is 80. Add them, and then divide by 2. Average them. We get 40 for the midpoint. So we're just going to assume that all these 12 cans of kidney beans, we know they cost between 30 and 50 cents. We're just going to assume that every one of those 12 cost 40 cents. And so on. I'll figure the other midpoints. 51 plus 71 divided by 2. Now, F times XM, the frequency times the midpoint. I'll fill those in now. Now that I've got my frequency times my midpoint, I've added up all of these 12 cans that cost 40 cents each. There's 480 cents. So now I'm going to add up all these. Sum of the frequency times the midpoint. So I'm summing this column, or adding those up. My calculator, I add those, and I get 4,732. N, that's the amount of cans that I surveyed. So I add up my frequencies, and I get 70. On your green sheet, your formula sheet, look for the mean of grouped data. The mean of group data, and you'll find this formula. We have the sum of the F times XM, and we have the N. So this is adding up all our cans and dividing by how many we have. We get 67.6. The modal class. Mode means most often. So I'm looking for the class that the most cans appeared in. This class has a frequency of 31 cans in that price range. So that's my modal class. This table shows frequency distribution of the commission earned in dollars, so the commission earned, by 100 salespeople. So $150 to $158, 5 people got that much. 16 people got $159 to $167. Again, to be able to find my mean, I need an actual number. So we're going to use the midpoint, in this case 154, and assume that all 5 of these people made $154 of commission. I'll continue to find the midpoints, again, by adding 159 plus 167, enter, divide by 2. F times XM. In order to find the mean, I want to add up all the money that they made. Well, I'm assuming that each person made $154 here, and there's 5 of those, so I'm going to do 5 times 154. And then I'm assuming that all 16 of these people made $163 commission, so I'll multiply those to get that number. This is part of adding up all the commissions so I can find the average commission. I'll finish this table now. So this XM is what I'm using for my data point. This is the amount of money that I'm assuming each person made. So this is adding up all the money that was made by all the people, and when I add those up, I get 18,028. And then I want to add up how many people I had. So I'll add the frequencies. Actually, my problem told me this was 100 also. Now, go to your green sheet. Find the mean of grouped distribution. The sum of the frequency times the midpoints. So this value that we've already figured out, divided by the total number of people that we have. $180.28. We will now round that to 180.3, 1 decimal place, since my data values were in whole numbers. If I was putting this into the calculator, I would put my frequencies in L1, my data in L2, and then when the calculator asked me, Jana, where did you put your frequencies? I'd tell them in L1. Where'd you put your data? I'd tell them in L2. Modal class. Mode means most often. So which class had the highest frequency? The most number of people in it. This one had 21, the highest. So that's the modal class.